and do it. And there's been quite a number of changes in science, and this is the reason this course changes every year. Science changes every year, and it's changing very rapidly now. Both the practice of it, the evaluation of it, the funding of it, everything is changing. And you guys are right in the middle of it. So what we're trying to do is give you the tools of the trade to be the scientists of the future, whether or not you work in research. Because one of the fundamental things that's happened in the history of our perception of our place on Earth is that it has gone from being, we observe that this happens there, and in a way man was above nature. And it was also part of, we shall have a dominion over the animals and the earth and so on. The big change is we are part of nature, and we very much recognize it. And we are dependent on the food we eat, the places we live, the quality of the environment around us. And that attitude has really permeated the way that science is being practiced and looked at and funded all over the world. But it also means that the stories that come out are immediately relevant. Okay? And that's how we want to sort of build this up. So this is the objectives. Okay? So we're going to give you the tools of the trade. And that's basically to generate and communicate fundamental knowledge about life forms and life processes. Okay? That's basically what we're going to do. You can read this anywhere. Blah, blah. It's the objectives of lots of places. But how we're going to do it is what you brought us to. Okay? You'll be introduced to, this is the contents, blah, blah, blah. That's, I'll let you read that. You'll do a field work with presentation statistics, and then you do this kind of thing. Ethics, scientific writing and speaking, critical reading, and so on. Okay? And usually, I'll give you a minute to just sort of absorb that. Practice, experience, and doing, designing. Okay? So it's the hands-on stuff. I'm not going to give you a piece of paper, and you're going to tell me what was on the piece of paper. You're going to do it. And it's the act of doing that embodies the learning. So if I tell you, you'll forget. If I teach you, you might remember, but you won't use it. But if you do it, you know how to use it regardless. You know how to use it anywhere. And that's the whole point. Because whether or not you go out to be a practicing scientist, the idea of how to use the scientific method to approach any question is really useful. And the steps of being able to get from a question to carrying out the work that'll give you the answer, and then getting the answer in the right format, and then telling us what the answer was, those are really important skills. Really important skills. And it really makes a big difference. So, let me see. Okay, it's compulsory. You are expected to attend and be active. I have to write this because then nobody can say I didn't tell you. It's compulsory. You have to attend and be active. You have to keep up with the course and what's being taught. So the ones who weren't here today have to figure out and come up with the stuff that's going to happen on Monday. Okay, and you're expected to respect your group members. Because you're going to be divided into groups. You have no say in which group you're in. I do. And a lot of this ends up being in the group dynamics. And one of the key things is that everybody has individual skills. The fact that you are here means that you're smart enough to get here, so you've probably already been the smart one in your family or something like that. Well, yes, you were, but now welcome to being average. Okay? And that means that we try to bring out the best of all of you in your group for the function of working on these field projects. And these field projects, okay, let me see. Yeah, that was me. There we go. All administrative matters are to be forwarded directly to Oddfleet, and that's admin. But you have to also keep yourself updated on the website. There's a course website, and we'll be putting in information and so on. Also, if there's a really important message, it'll go out from the send bulk mail thing, and it'll be signed by one of us. Okay? And that means important notices that maybe you forgot, or what's open, what's closed, and so on. And it also means you are submitting assignments via that port here. Magnus, do you want to tell us more about this one?
Do you want to do it right away?
Sure.
So everyone can log into the student portal, yes? Everyone has a username and a password. If not, come see me after class or in the break. We'll
So everybody has a username and a password? Okay. And everybody has to check these mails, okay? So even if it's an email account that you don't normally go to, make it one that you normally go and check, okay?
Or import it to the one that you normally go and check.
Yes.
Which I would recommend.
Yes.
So basically, this is the super easy intro to how to upload your assignments, which you will be doing for Monday. But
yes.
then I just spoiled that you have something to do for Monday,
yes.
so sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's okay. So basically, go to myspace.uib.no, input your username and password. You will come to this page. Look up in your listings. I have so many that I have to search them, that you will find BIO300 Fall 2015. Click this link to get into the course. You will come to this page. This is where the information from people, if you're posted as messages, will appear here. There is file storage up here. You can look at the files, like the lecture notes from today will be uploaded. And you have this part here called assignment. Find the correct folder for the assignment that you want to submit. So in this case, it will be the self-presentation for Monday.
For example.
Click the self-presentation folder. And you get to the submission page. And since I'm an admin, I have a lot of buttons. You have one that says upload new assignment. Click the upload button, attach your file, certify that you're the one that wrote this file, and click submit. And you're done. Okay.
If you forget this, these PowerPoints are going to be uploaded in the file folder.
Sorry,
yes.
Storage.
So you can review whatever's written, whatever's been shown as a PowerPoint will end up in the class folder. Pretty well immediately afterwards. So if you've forgotten, you can at least get into there and then you can get these instructions.
If you have questions, email me, meet me in person,
yeah.
Tell Karen to tell me, or,
yeah. Right.
Karen is, what did you call yourself? A technological
God?
fossil?
God?
That's me.
Oh.
Technological fossil was the word I was
Yeah, I
looking
think
for.
so.
Yeah.
Techno-peasant.
Yeah.
Techno-peasant.
So
yeah.
she can not direct your questions at me when it comes to the tech part. All yours.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Where do we go? What did you do?
My point.
I've been doing this since we had to teach you guys how to use Word and Excel. That's how long I've been doing this. Okay, thank you, bless your heart. So let's see. Am I going through this? Okay, yeah. And you put the calendar up there?
Well, yeah, automatically.
There we go. So, and this will take us right up to the break. Presentation of yourselves, you've started it. Started, haven't finished. And the project design, the writing and speaking scientifically, we'll get you into that as well. Critical reading skills, ethics, and role play, a very key one. Project work, lots of it, and team skills, lots of it. And you're going to need those team skills. So if you think you're the one that's going to drag your group all the way to the end, no. And if you think you're going to get a free ride all the way to the end, no. You're going to have statistics, a group A in the morning or a group B in the afternoon, and they have to...
You can pick whichever one suits your schedule for that week. It's
yes.
the same content, which is covered twice. So if you have a lecture in the morning, you go to the afternoon one. If you have one in the afternoon, I suggest you go in the morning.
Right. And believe me, it's important. To be able to handle data and statistics is important. One of the biggest problems we have in science today is the data profusion. Data management skills, data analysis, meta-analysis, big data, amounts of data you would not believe. Okay, so, and that means you're going to end up dealing with, I don't know, about 100 numbers? Learn how to deal with 100 numbers. You can at least get a feeling for how you're going to deal with 100 million numbers, if any of you keep going on, because that's the kind of amounts of data we end up using. Okay? And then we have the library course, because of course that'll teach you how to access the scientific literature and other ways of getting things and so on, and also how to make sure that the references you use are properly referenced when you're writing, so there's little things like endnote and so on. Then you're going to have a final presentation, it's live, and the statistics exam, okay? And the point is, this is real, okay? There is an end user, and that end user is coming to meet you next week, I think it is.
Next week, for Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So there is a real end user who is a non-academic and will not be giving you a grade, but will be using the results, okay? So that's the difference right away. Yes, you of course are aiming for a good grade, because some of you actually do want to go on to higher studies and so on, but this is real. And the idea that we hit real right away is my reaction to the chase for degrees. Because a lot of you figure that in order to get a job in science, you're going to have to get a PhD. But by the time you get to the PhD, you're going to find out you have to get a postdoc. And by the time you get the postdoc, you're going to find out you have to get a second postdoc. And you get infantilized. You get made children of. You get made incompetent of. You get made the feeling that you cannot do this. You can. You can. At your age, 100 years ago, people were starting factories, doing businesses, just generally doing a whole bunch of stuff. They weren't sitting in class thinking, I'm still in school. We don't need people who are still in school to go out and do the things that this globe actually needs to get done. You can do it. We'll teach you how. And by the end of the course, you can do it. So you're not incompetent. You'll know how competent you are by the end of this course. And your grade doesn't matter, but your competence does, okay? So we're trying, this course will try and make you the best possible that we can. You're going to get a lot of feedback, and you're going to give each other feedback, and this is the most feedback you're ever going to get. And so if you want to be competent, pay attention to this feedback, okay? And then, okay, this group work and the project, there's various phases of collecting and so on. We'll get into that later. And the basic schedule is like this. We are here. We're about here right now. We're going to take a break, and then the afternoon is going to keep going. And then on Monday morning, we start again. And on Wednesday, and on Friday. And by Friday, I've got you divided up into groups and assigned to a teaching assistant. Each teaching assistant will get one group, and we'll follow the one group to their field site, and we'll follow that one group all the way to the end. The teaching assistant will be reading the drafts, will be commenting on the scientific methods used, will be commenting on a lot, okay? So because they've reached the PhD stage, they're supposed to already know this. I know that some of them are shaking already. And that means that this is a learning experience for all, okay? And that means that if there's problems with the understanding, with the feedback and so on, come to me, come to Magnus. We'll fix it. We'll fix it early. Because the consequences of not fixing a problem early, and that means not working with your group members the way you want to, it's going to lead to, we hate that person, okay? Literally. I mean, you may end up loving your group. And seriously, if you all pull your weight, you will love each other. And you will make a kind of connection that extends beyond these years, way beyond these years. This is the first and only time you will be in a year class at this department. The first and only time. After this, you're sort of split up into your sections and so on. But you guys are a resource for each other. And that's what we want you to be. So pull your weight. For those of you who've been sitting on who know in your heart of hearts, you haven't actually been pulling your weight, back up, okay? Because there's a grading scheme as well. Okay, let me see, graphic design, let me see.
You can take a break, and then you can continue when you know.
Right, yeah, okay.
And then they can, get some coffee or...
Are we up to, we are up to. Good point. Okay, we are up to this. Let's take,
do people
half
want
an
lunch?
hour.
There's a
you're probably
barbecue.
hungry.
There's a barbecue in 2 hours. I mean, so
Right.
if you want to have lunch, we do half an hour. If not, we do
15 minutes. Okay, hands in the air for 15. Hands in the air for half an hour. 15 it is. See you in 15.
Democracy, right there.